Hey friends, it's Michael.
Games Workshop's Adepticon reveals ended with the introduction of a new edition of the Horus Heresy, starting with an incredible cinematic trailer that's now been viewed over 1 million times. I wanted to share some of my favorite shots, starting with this Imperial Fist's Praetor making his last stand against Horus. After killing the Praetor, the camera pans behind Horus, showing battle waged on an epic scale as several titans fire upon each other. A Space Marine in Mark 6 power armor is shown, advancing and firing amidst the chaos. This is the first look at the new Beaky Marines. Another shot shows several Marines running alongside a striding Warlord Titan, and the camera pans up as the Titan opens fire with his weapon. Interspersed with scenes of intense battle are a few calmer images, like these Titans striding across the battlefield in front of a setting sun. The entire cinematic is worth watching multiple times. What I'm showing here is only a small selection, and needless to say, my excitement for the Heresy is back at an all-time high. I think it says a lot that the trailer has more than 1 million views over the course of just 4 days. This is an epic introduction to the conflicts of the Horus Heresy for anyone not familiar with it. For fans of the Horus Heresy, to borrow a phrase from fellow heresy enthusiast Leakycheese, it's a long-awaited sign of what's to come. While I remain critical of Forge World's lack of communication on the state of the heresy over the last year, I feel that this trailer shows that support for the game is far from over, and in fact, the best may still be ahead of us. Two miniatures were previewed, the first being this axe-wielding Praetor. He looks great, though I'm not yet quite sure that he would fit into my Alpha Legion. While he might be intended to represent a generic Praetor, everything about the mini is making it hard for me to separate him from the Sons of Horus. He's shown several times in the trailer, both with and without helmet. The other miniature is the Space Marine wearing Mark 6 power armor, often called beaky armor due to the helmet. I really like the way he's been sculpted. It's possible that these tactical marines will feature as one of the first releases in the new edition. While there's been no official confirmation of anything, they did feature in the leaked images from last June. I want to point out a few cool details, namely that the Marine is striding forward in a fairly upright stance. I think this is fairly new for plastic Space Marines, and has the benefit of making him look taller. Second, note the trigger discipline with his weapon. I thought that was a really cool touch. Of course, it wouldn't be a proper preview without a bit of controversy already making the rounds through the community. In this case, it concerns the availability and widespread use of Mark 6 power armor during the Heresy. Previous pieces of lore have stated that Mark 6 was perhaps a bit less common, while a recent White Dwarf article notes that by the time of the Horus Heresy, Mark 6 was already widespread throughout the legions. This has ruffled some feathers, and I've already seen one comment saying that this, quote-unquote, pisses on the work of Alan Bly and his team. I'd like to think that if Alan were still with us today, he'd be happy that the setting he did so much to flesh out was getting more mainstream recognition by Games Workshop. It's been said before that all of the Space Marine legions had access to everything, all types of armor, all vehicles, and so on. It's ludicrous to think that a legion of more than 100,000 legionnaires had absolutely no suits of Mark 6 power armor whatsoever. The Black Books themselves have multiple illustrations of legionnaires in this armor. Additionally, using Mark 6 as the default armor in a new edition of Horus Heresy is a great throwback to the original Rogue Trader days, when Games Workshop was first producing plastic Space Marines in Mark 6 power armor. I say default here only because this is the only tactical marine that's been officially previewed so far. For all we know, we may also be seeing releases of Mark II, Mark V, and Mark VII in plastic as part of this revitalization. I do think that Games Workshop also picked Mark VI because it's the most popular power armor in comparison and will sell better as a result. A lot of Heresy players really like Mark II and Mark V armors, but I believe that both of these have a lower overall popularity than the Mark VI. If rumors are to be believed, Horus Heresy is getting a plethora of new plastic kits, and I'm certain that GW has already considered Mark II and Mark V as candidates for plastic treatment. In conclusion, I'm really excited to see what's coming over the next several months for Horus Heresy. April will see previews on Warhammer Community every Thursday, and while an official release hasn't yet been announced, this recent preview might indicate that it's coming soon. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments. If you feel you've gotten some insight out of this video, please like and subscribe, and of course, share this with your grandma. So these have been on my desk for a while now, and I just haven't had time to airbrush any of them. I've been trying to do a hobby vlog on my process for these guys, and then this morning I came down with seasonal allergies, so it'll be a while. Thanks for your patience.